This is a Sony Alpha 7 R Mark IIIA, equipped with a 42 megapixel IMX251 full-frame sensor. Meanwhile, this is a Skyeye 62 AC camera from ToupTek Optics, which uses a 62 megapixel Sony IMX455 full-frame sensor. So what are the key differences in imaging performance between a deep sky camera and a conventional consumer's camera? And how does this camera perform in actual use? I hope this video will reveal these answers. For the record, this camera is not mine. It was loaned to me by ToupTek Optics for testing purposes, and I'm free to express all my opinions. And this video will not be submitted for their review before being published. The biggest difference is cooling. According to ToupTek's promotional materials, this camera uses TEC cooling technology, which can cool down the sensor up to 35 centigrades below ambient temperature. Let's test this claim using an infrared thermometer to measure the room temperature first, then set the camera to its maximum cooling power and observe its actual cooling performance. Cooling down the sensor could significantly suppress the thermal noise. We can compare the noise levels in dark frames between the cooled 62 AC camera and the uncooled Alpha 7 R Mark III. According to ToupTek's specifications, this sensor has a full well capacity of 51,000 electrons and a read noise ranging from 2.58 to 0.89 electrons. These specs are comparable to my own 2600 MC camera, as both of their sensors have a pixel size of 3.76 microns. However, ToupTek's website does not provide sensor parameter curves at different gain settings, so I conducted my own testings using SharpCap. The results are excellent for a high-resolution sensor with small pixel sizes. Now it's time to talk about my personal impressions of this camera in actual use. Since I'm still learning deep sky photography, this section might be somewhat subjective and not very professional. Please bear with me. As a colored camera, the Skyeye 62 AC eliminates the need for a filter wheel, which is very convenient in actual use, especially for me as a college student. Additionally, the high resolution allows for greater cropping flexibility. Compared to my APS-C sensor I previously used, this full-frame sensor offers a much wider field of view, making compositions easier, especially since my current astrophotography setup does not yet support star map functionality. Furthermore, it is quite satisfying to zoom in on the fine details of the images after shooting. This camera's native ADC sample rate is 16 bits. It is a significant improvement over my Alpha 7 R Mark III's 14-bit ADC, which even drops down to 12-bit for long exposures. Surely, this will provide much more room for adjustments during post-processing. However, one major downside of high resolution is the explosion in data size. Compared to my own 2600 MC camera, which generates FITS files under 13 megabytes each, this Skyeye 62 AC's FITS files can reach nearly 100 megabytes per image. For me, the biggest impact is not about the storage pressure, since I have been using high-resolution cameras for years and I have already prepared for this. Instead, the bottleneck is my astrophotography box's processing and file transfer speed. Sometimes it could easily take over 10 seconds to preview an image on my phone after it's taken. Another issue is the horizontal binding noise that occurs at high gain settings, which cannot be eliminated by using calibration frames. I first noticed this problem while shooting the comet at Lenhu Observatory, and later encountered this problem again during a Star Party event in Hangzhou City. After analyzing the bias frames, I found that this camera randomly produces stripe pattern noise regardless of the gain setting, although the issue becomes more pronounced at higher gain. And I have discussed this problem with ToupTek's technical team, and the root cause appears to be a change in the sensor's packaging process by Sony. And additionally, since ToupTek has historically specialized in microscopy and industrial cameras, however, they are actively working on resolving this issue, and that's why I am still optimistic about the future performance of this product. If you have decided to purchase or have already purchased this camera, based on my own testing, horizontal binding noise is imperceptible at gain settings below 400. I also hope that ToupTek can resolve this issue ASAP to make high gain settings more usable, because theoretically, increasing gain without saturating highlights can greatly improve the signal-to-noise ratio in the initial capture. For those people who are considering this camera, if you are using a fast optical system and want to experience full-frame, high-resolution imaging, this camera is worth buying, since its price is incredibly competitive. Overall, this camera excels in cooling performance, sensor quality, and affordability, making it an excellent entry-level choice for high-resolution full-frame deep sky imaging. While it still has some areas for improvement, such as the binding noise problem, these issues do not overshadow its value as a high-performance and low-cost deep sky camera. So that concludes this video. Thanks again for ToupTek Optics for providing this camera for me to test. Feel free to share your thoughts friendly or questions in the comment section, and hope to see you soon in the